All right, remember to just look like right into the camera.
Yep.
No
Remember
reading.
all the dates.
Remember all the dates.
Verbatim, of
Both
course.
dates, don't forget them.
Got it.
We got this. Okay. LSD.
Mm-hmm.
Acid. The fluffy stuff.
The liquid nightmare.
The liquid nightmare. That's way better than liquid nitrogen.
The slippery fellow.
Okay.
The woman in white in the woods.
The distinguished gentleman.
I was going to say spirit molecule. That's DMT.
Yeah, you can't do that.
LSD was first synthesized by Swiss chemist Albert Hofmann on November 16th, 1938. Way bad time
Way
to be
bad
around, you know, not a good time.
Well, I mean, he was Swiss.
Right before war. Well, I mean,
was a
there's some
Swiss
shit,
chemist. They're
bad
fine.
shit going on.
They
in my
made
mind around
the
this
Red
time.
Cross, bro.
But it wasn't tried. He didn't try it until April 19th, 1943. And that's the bicycle day that we all know. And before, it was supposed to be used for lots of different things. Circulatory stimulant is one of them.
I like
that.
that.
It was going to be used for alcoholism, schizophrenia. And so they had some ideas about it, but it wasn't, they didn't know what they were making. I assume the other LSDs were nothing. Like they didn't affect you like this because they had tested those, right?
Well, I mean, he had made it in 38, but didn't try it until 43.
They
Is
had
that
to
what
be
it was?
tested. So LSD 20, was that?
I don't know, dude. I have no idea. I mean, some of it was probably just growing in potency. Because I mean, you're making a compound, right? You're making it. He knew that he was making lysergic acid diethylamide. You're adding those things.
Yeah. I also heard it was was that the one also that they tried for acne or something like that?
I know that they tried some type of psychedelic for acne. Here, just get high as shit.
Yeah, maybe this will make your
This will
problems
fix your
go
face
away.
and your back. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here today is we're going to be watching a video of someone who's had LSD tested on them. So the U.S. government got a hold of LSD in 1947. And so the government started testing it then as part of Project Chatter for mind control, to be able to influence people to talk. It's for interrogation, right? Make them talk, make them fucking chatter.
If you get high, you start saying shit. I do understand the idea.
Or your teeth start chattering.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like when you get really high or drunk or something, I'm so comfortable in my body right now. I can tell people secrets.
I'm going to tell you everything there is to know.
Yeah, I
about
kind
the
of
universe, about
the
myself.
idea. But yeah, we found this footage again recently and thought it'd be a great idea to look over
this
it.
is the CIA. As far as I'm concerned, this is the CIA because the CIA was the one testing it on people in the 50s.
It's the type of thing because they were putting out the sign-up sheets for anyone that wanted to get tested on, essentially.
And this is technically part of what is called Project Artichoke.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting to me. So we're going to get into it. This is a poor fucking 1950s housewife, and this is her experience on LSD. A trip. I hate that they have to do that. There's just no way to make it cool anymore. Everything's got to be a fucking joke, Toby.
Dr. Sidney Cohen interviews a research subject and administers LSD.
Here is part of an interview with the subject just before LSD is to be administered.
That fucking voice.
My husband is an employee here at the VA, and he told me that they were looking for normal people, and
she seems uncomfortable, first off.
Well, he's probably staring at her like a fucking creep, dude.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm about to do to your mind?
Well, so she just said that her husband works there at the VA. So this was done at the VA.
Yeah,
like
he's
in Los
a veteran.
Angeles.
Doesn't know, he's just out, that's after World War II. So before they found it, it's all, that's my point of reference in history,
I just think that some Don Draper ass motherfucker is change my wife. She is not docile enough. She talks back too much. My dinner was late 3 times last week because she was on the phone with her mother. I would like her mother to not be in the picture.
Yeah. Can you mention her mom?
Yeah. Can you really just kind of I really just want her to be different.
It's either that or he's
I want her to be more
you guys
like my
looking
secretary.
for idiots? My wife is dumb.
Yeah.
There's some reason that he would do that. I don't know why, because he works for the government and she's just very uncomfortable. I don't know why I'm here.
Well, it's a test. She knows it's a test. She knows she's gonna have to drink something. She knows that they're gonna drug her.
I see. Do you feel you're normal?
I hope I'm normal. I think so.
Well, a little while back, you took quite a series of psychological tests, and I can assure you that you're a very stable and well-balanced person as a result of the tests.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to think about that, because they did figure out that they weren't already insane. But is that a good thing? Does that mean...
Well, they say that. They're telling her this on camera. Look at her face.
I mean,
she is
you
uncomfortable
think they
as
would
all
test-
hell. I wonder what those tests were.
Yeah.
This poor woman who probably knows she's there as some form of punishment from her abusive husband.
There's a lot of backstory here.
We cannot forget that this is the 50s. This is like the height of chauvinism.
Yeah.
This is like American fucking
he's a
chauvinism,
military,
dude.
bro.
Yes, he's an ex-veteran.
so
he's an
a
ex-veteran.
little
He's
older
an
at that point.
ex-soldier. He's a veteran of a war. So I think that no matter what those tests were or what they came back as, he was always going to tell her this.
Yeah.
I think that this is all scripted.
I don't think they would... Do you think they would pick someone that already seemed insane? That's what I was wondering.
No, I don't think that...
It's not a clean slate to work from.
Right, but I also think that they're like... Again, I think they're doing this because the husband was like...
Of course, there's a little bit of that.
Wanna...
But some people signed up on their own accord.
That's true.
And how do you feel about coming here and drinking this strange material?
I'm a little nervous, perhaps.
Well, I think that's normal. Well, I think it's time for you to have your lysergic acid. Drink this down.
The first time I saw that, I was really hoping it was diluted.
It's just,
But of course it is.
Of course it is, but it's so funny just to get to this point, the fucking slow zoom in on the glass of, like, if you know anything about LSD, and if that was pure liquid LSD, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's way too much. That's more than way too much. That is an enormous amount. That is a giant amount. It is,
and there's layers to its dilution as well, just because, like, you know, people that put it into vials and stuff will have like water bottles full of it.
Yeah.
But that's mixed with alcohol normally or something.
Yeah, something to dilute it.
Mix in with.
Yeah.
And then that gets diluted further into a dose or something, right?
But just, my God, just the visual of this guy being like, well, time to die. Time to drink this. Just drink it down. Drink it up. It's so funny.
And we'll be back after a while and see how you're doing.
This is a glass of water.
See.
Colorless, tasteless.
You wouldn't
It
even
contains
know.
100 gamma of LSD-25, 1/10 of a milligram, the equivalent of 1/600th of a grain. An ounce of this material will make 150,000 such doses.
That fucking look on his
Let
face,
it come.
dude. What a
I don't
fuck.
like that.
No, dude. He's like, this is her husband.
Yeah. Don't tell him. You know me.
You know what you did.
This is at their house. Those are his curtains in the back, man.
This is just some fucked up home video is what this is.
Observe the effect some 3 hours later.
Okay.
3 hours later.
Well, tell me.
The way she was trying to
Well,
touch something.
I couldn't possibly tell you. It's here. Can't you feel it? This whole room. This everything is in color, and I can feel the air. I can see it. I can see.
Okay, so that makes that infinitely more trippy, the fact that she says it's in color. It's so weird because, of course, life is in color, even though this is in black and white. Life was color!
If TV was in black and white, she
Everything's
said
in
in color
color.
because it seemed amazing. Why isn't it all in black and white? Like I
right,
see on
she's
TV.
fucking. What is that movie? What's the movie with fucking Tobey Maguire? Pleasantville, where it's black and white, and then color starts getting introduced.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
That was a
So
weird
this
movie.
is that same kind of thing. Just everything's in color. It's like you can always see in color.
I will say the way she's responding is nice. Like, we watched a different one where a woman had a ball and just the way she
No,
was
I think it
responding-
was literally an orange.
An
She was
orange.
holding an orange because
Okay.
she kept talking about
Yeah.
everything is orange.
Wait, but not just orange. And it,
Not
it was
just
the way
orange.
her mind hopped around that I was like, I understand how that could seem really scary, terrifying to someone, but knowing what LSD is like, it's not. It's that your mind is racing and it's just all these
Well,
new
yeah, you're
thoughts
going
coming up.
from one thing to the next, and you're
Not finishing thoughts.
well. That is
Lots of
because in your
tangents.
mind everything is connected.
Yeah.
Like everything has been now connected in your mind, and so it's so easy for you to go between different trains of thought because to you they're all connected, they're all together, everything makes sense.
I feel like that's a scary part of LSD, that it gives you the belief that everything is connected. There's still a chance it's not.
Yeah, there's a very high chance that everything is an
It's
accident.
random,
Yeah.
and chaotic. So it's odd to me that it gives you some sort of belief or hope. Because
Yeah.
I know what you mean. When you start tripping, how you're like, it all ties together, everything that's happened and everything around me. When like you could be drawing those lines like a crazy person, essentially.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
Pepe Sylviaing the shit
Yep.
out of this, dude.
Could be. I just like how she's saying it's so beautiful. She's looking at it like a painting,
Right.
As to where the other person was more just like kind of glitchy, like.
Well, this is pointed, right? So he's trying to get this information out of her. This is a study. The other one, I
Explain
think
it.
he was just interviewing a girl who was high. This is a test. Like this is an in-depth interview as opposed to just walking up to someone who's high
yeah,
and being like, "Tell me about that
and
orange."
she's poignant. She like again, they may have picked her for this very reason.
Because she's
She
a
can-
regular ass
She
person.
can explain herself.
I think maybe
Like-
she's. First of all, I don't know if she's ever had a drop of alcohol other than like the stuff that's
Yeah.
on the back of her husband's hand.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Just remember, it's the 50s.
It's the 50s.
Shit is not the same.
It's not the same for her. Like it again. This feels like she was forced into doing this. So I think that truly, this woman she might be like a grade school teacher.
Yeah.
I think she's probably like a teacher or something.
Best day she ever had.
Yeah, I mean, like
Maybe.
you'll see.
All the molecules.
Oh Lord, she's seeing the air.
Can see the
I'm
molecules.
part of it. Can't you see it?
I'm trying.
No, you're not.
Oh, it's just like you're released or you're free or
I love that.
She's looking
I
very
don't know
far in
how
the distance.
I can tell you.
Well, it's just like she's summing up like the ideal of psychedelic culture within this one single video. She's like, I just see the air. It's like being freed or like let go. She's coming to the profundity of the release that you feel on psychedelics, like that release from like the barriers in your mind that have been built up.
What do you think of like the theory of like the veil theory? That like when you were a baby, that's exactly what you saw, where like different spectrums of light, different particles in the air,
Yeah.
You can see more, and slowly
Well,
your
yeah, I
mind
think
starts to
we
block them
can
out
see the air, but our brain turns it off.
in order to function more
Yeah.
properly, possibly.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And that might snap you back. So I kind of like the idea of that's how we started.
Yeah.
Was just over, and that's why babies are just freaking
Yeah.
out, looking around. Y'all not see this? It's here.
We live in a world,
That's
man.
a scary way to say that, though. It's here.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
here.
that's how she.
What? Wait,
that's
what?
how she
I
started.
would be like, wait,
what's
wait.
here? Go back.
Does it have a name? Is it
What?
scary?
Who does it? Who is it? Who? What's his name?
How do you feel inside?
Inside. I don't have any inside.
I don't have
It's all
an
one.
inside.
Hold on. Editor Davey, replay that, but put scary music over it after she says it, because that's some terrifying shit.
Inside. I don't have any inside.
I don't know what she means by I don't have an inside.
Just like listen again.
I don't have any inside.
Is it all one?
Is it all one?
It would be all one if you weren't here.
Burn!
If nobody else. Yes, everything is one. You have nothing to do with it.
I love that.
Wow,
yeah,
she's burning
it would be
him.
great if you weren't here. It'd be awesome if she snapped out of it. It would be so if you weren't here.
Yeah.
Yes,
back
it
to
is
looking up.
all one, but has nothing
Now,
to do with
yeah,
you.
what does she mean by that?
Nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing. You disgust me.
Is she saying because she's in this state that she's all, one with the consciousness and he's not in that state?
Right.
So she doesn't see him as a part of it? Or is she saying, like, it has nothing to do with humanity?
It has nothing to
Right.
do with him in particular.
Yeah, it
this
seems
creepy-ass
very
doctor.
pointed.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with you at all.
I am one with what I am. I can see everything in color. Everything. You have to see the air. You can't believe it. And the dimensions and all the prisms and the rays and everything coming down through you and moving.
What does this all mean to you?
I've never seen such infinite beauty in my life. It's like a...
We
Say
need
intimate beauty?
infinite.
Infinite beauty.
We need to sample this, though. I already
Infinite-
hear the drops.
Infinite beauty.
I've never seen such infinite beauty in my life. And then I have no inside. Yeah. That's metal as fuck.
It has nothing to do with you.
I have no inside. What does she mean by that? Like, she
She
just
just
is a
didn't know.
part.
She didn't know what to. She didn't
no-
know how to say, "I am not within. I am without."
There's no in or out
Yeah,
of it, and just a
it
part.
is just
wow.
all.
It's crazy seeing this.
But it has literally nothing to do with you. You're fucking gross.
You're not a part of it.
Yeah.
Everything
Not part of
is
this at
one
all.
except you.
Yeah. You have nothing to do with this.
a curtain or a spider web. Can you see it? It's right here in front of me, right now. Watch. No. Good heavens.
Good heavens.
You know what went through me?
Oh.
It passed right through me.
Could you feel it?
Me? There isn't any me.
Okay,
shit.
so the curtain thing.
The veil.
The
veil, if you will.
got lifted.
Just, it went right through me.
At first, I kind of thought she was talking about. I've had certain different types of LSD that the trips were like very laid on top of the world in front of me, or
that feels more like
or
a
laid
test
into.
chemical, honestly. I feel like there was definitely some times that we were told things were LSD
Well, we
that were a
talked-
different type of test chemical.
We talked about was it enlaced patterns or like inlaying patterns?
There was one time
where they're like
that one guy made me take a liquid
yeah.
psychedelic up my nose. It started
Crazy.
in powder form. He turned it into a liquid and shot it up my nose. And that was the most intense, like, pattern overlay I've ever had on anything. It just wouldn't go away.
An overlay versus an inlay.
Yeah.
Right. So like the inlay stops where the wall stops. Like it seems like it's inside of the wall.
Right.
Instead of being pasted on your eyes.
Right. So there's like it actually moves with things instead of like just everything's being seen through
Yeah.
this lens.
That feels fake when it's laid on top.
Yeah.
But when
like
it's inside of something, it's like you're
Yeah.
seeing the real essence of the wall.
yeah, you're seeing the molecule.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You
or
might-
you're just high.
Yeah. See, like
You could just be high as shit, Meredith.
the basis of this, of what's happened to us while we've been on psychedelics, still baffles me. Were we hallucinating, or did a veil get lifted
I
and we
mean,
were seeing what's
there
there?
was one time that you were Jack Sparrow.
Oh, yeah.
Were you actually Jack Sparrow?
I mean, have you seen Pirates of the Caribbean? That's me, dude. Wait, do you think? Side note. Do you think that's you?
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that later.
Yeah, I still just can't answer that question, and it will always haunt me. It will just
That you're not Jack Sparrow?
the idea.
Whether or not you're Jack Sparrow?
The idea of never being able to be sure if things are hallucination, even things right now, right?
Yeah, you'll
Like,
never be able to tell. That's the
you'll
beauty of
never
life.
know.
You'll never know what's real
It
until you
scares
die.
me. And so it's like
And
the
then
essence of
maybe not.
what's here right in front of me could be my mind making it up. And so that on top of it, you hallucinating on top of possibly hallucination, seems a little
I
bit
can't
wild.
even, maybe that's breaking you out of
Does it
Maybe
spin
that's
you back?
the look
Is that
through
the real
Yeah,
side?
is that the break through the hallucination of the matrix that we live in? Let's get back to this lady who looks fucking hecka horny right now in this frame.
She looks scared, dude. That's horny to you. You need to work on something.
No, dude, she's horny.
No, she's thinking.
This fucking guy.
Why are you
Is
so
all
horny?
this pleasant or unpleasant? Or aren't these the right words?
Neither. Right?
She ain't looking at you.
What seems pleasant or unpleasant?
It just is.
There isn't anything pleasant or unpleasant. It's too beautiful. It's how can you think and I mean, can't you feel it? Everything is so beautiful and lovely and alive. You shouldn't say anything about anything not being. This is reality. This is. If you look right over there.
Oh, shit.
Are you looking? Can you?
What should I say?
She keeps thinking he can
you
see what.
Yeah.
she's
Well, I mean,
seeing.
she's never understood that you can see something that someone else
can't.
doesn't see.
She keeps thinking.
He doesn't
Do you see,
understand.
like,
yeah.
is that in my head, or are you seeing that too?
She's not even asking. She's
Yeah.
like, I mean, she's
Well,
asking.
She's like, no, turn
like,
your fucking
you
head.
see it, like, look at this thing.
Yeah.
Because it
That's
looked like
weird.
she was looking at another person when he was like talking to her. It looked like she was like having eyes, like keeping eye contact with something else.
Oh, yeah, I imagine just looking at the ceiling and the corners and shit. Like,
Well, at points, her vision isn't moving. She's just looking at a thing.
yeah.
She's not like wandering.
She's looking through it, right?
Yeah.
The 1,000-yard stare through a wall kind of thing. But she sees something.
I wish I could talk in Technicolor, or let you see. Can you?
Dude, I wish I could talk in Technicolor.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because again, that's a thing that had just come out.
very
Color
exciting
film,
new technology.
Technicolor, and technology color. I wish I could talk. She's like, I
wants
wish
to
I could
describe it
speak
to
in
him.
image.
Yeah, to show you what
Yeah.
I'm seeing. It's pretty
I
beautiful.
want to speak in imagery to you.
Yeah.
No, I can't quite see it. Tell me about it.
Fucking gaslighter.
Oh, you look a little.
It's. I can't tell you about it.
You're not a
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
this.
I told you,
I
Doug.
love that.
I feel sorry for you.
Oh yeah, fuck you, dude.
She's already fucking heady blasting
Yeah,
his
dude.
ass, dude.
Yeah.
She's already headier than now. One dose in.
Yeah, dude.
I'm better
That's just
than you.
How it, that's just, you're not part of this. You can never be a part of this. You're not fucking
So
cool,
lame.
Doug. Dr. Cohen discussed the LSD state with Philosopher Jail. Was that it? Was that all we got of her? Meredith, come back.
Now, Gerald, I know you have great personal experience with lysergic acid. What do you think of it?
You wouldn't understand.
You lame
You're
fuck.
not a part of this.
You weekend warrior ass. Get on.
To do that in 2 minutes,
I thought you said do it, bitch.
eternity in an hour. It's almost impossible, of course, as all the patients say, to describe it.
What did he
You can
just
only
say?
2 minutes.
So something in 2 minutes.
What do you think of it?
To do that in 2 minutes,
Do that.
eternity in an hour.
Eternity in a novel.
It's almost impossible.
No, he's saying that like something in 2 minutes, eternity in an hour.
No, he said to do that in 2 minutes, to explain eternity in a novel. He's like, I can't explain it to you.
Is that what he just said?
Yeah.
To do that
To do
in
that
2 minutes,
in 2 minutes,
eternity
an eternity
in an hour.
in a novel. Or an
It's
hour.
almost impossible, of course, as all the patients say, to describe it.
Okay.
You can only say it isn't, it isn't, it isn't. Trying to tell people what it is. Well, of course,
I don't know any of our friends that have taken it but haven't said this one thing in common. Well, I never knew anything like that in the whole of my life. And one or two people have said to me, I've said it to myself, that's what death is going to be like.
Oh.
And oh, what fun it will be.
Wow. Metal as fuck again.
Yeah, dude. That, like, it's so interesting to, like, because so you look at people that do acid, right? They look like us. Those people look like us, but they can look like this guy. They can look like that. They can look like Meredith from before. Never like Doug, though.
That dude sucks. Everybody hates Doug.
What
Dr.
a piece
Cohen.
of shit. But I think that it's really interesting that, like, through these, like, extreme psychedelic experiences, people come to the conclusion that this is what... Well, they ask what it is, but it's like, this must be what death is like because it's the most different thing
from life.
Right? So it's like you have to imagine that it would be something like that as you're going out because it has to be so different than what it is.
So just to, not to get into it, but just to touch on, like, the fact that, like, DMT actually does get released in your death time,
when you're
right?
born and when you die.
And so you get flooded, and so the familiarity you feel when you're high on DMT kind of it makes sense that feels like death because it's what you're given. So other psychedelics, are they mimicking death, or are they their own type of, or is it just an ego death, and that's just how death feels?
Yeah, I mean, they could definitely be that. Well, I mean, when you're...
Why would it feel like death unless it was poisoning
because it's
you or
bliss,
killing you?
Right? Because
like
there's
mushrooms.
like a bliss point and there's like a like that lady was being lifted out of Meredith. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She was being lifted out of her chair. I don't know if that's her name, but her name is Meredith. She was being lifted out of her chair, and you could tell that she could feel it in her cheeks. You know what I mean? That point when you get so high on acid that you just feel it in your cheeks. Not from smiling, but there's just like this tenseness in your cheeks and in your forehead. But I like this. I like this dude looking like Dewey Cox's dad.
How do you mean that? Well, I mean that there are the colors and the beauties, the designs, the beautiful way things appear. People themselves, dull people that I thought dull, appear fascinating, interesting, mysterious, wonderful. But that's only the beginning. A man was saying it this afternoon who was taking it. Suddenly you notice that there aren't these separations, that we're not on a separate island shouting across to somebody else and trying to hear what they're saying and misunderstanding them. You know, you use the word yourself, empathy. This thing's flowing underneath.
I like this guy.
Yeah. At first I thought he was going to be a little pretentious, but he won me over.
No,
when he was like eternity in a night. Like, I was like, come on, man.
Now he's like, no, there's nothing that separates us. We're not islands away shouting, hoping the other person can hear.
Yeah.
It's like what you talked about.
Nice.
Empathy, Doug.
Yeah, if you only
Piece of
knew.
shit.
He won't try it. Everyone hates him because he won't actually do it.
Yeah, he's just trying to. I might do it one day. I'm just trying to gather
Want to watch your wife get high. The oneness is something that a lot of people say that's an odd one to me as well. Like, again, I don't know. I don't know if I'd say the same when I was real. I guess yes and no. Because there's a point to where I feel like I'm out of body enough to realize that everything's entwined.
Yes.
Like, and then there's high enough to realize that you can get to a such dissociative level that you're not really a part of the things you used to be a part of. So therefore, you're not a part of this oneness. Like, it may be you encompassing, in a sense. I don't know.
Well, that's where existentialism infiltrates
in those moments,
the LSD area, like the psychedelic area. That's when you're just like, oh, reality is just what I make of it around me. But there's this oneness because it's all me, but I'm nothing because I'm everything. You're still pretentious as fuck.
So yeah, it's kind of an oxymoron because in those moments, I didn't.
You're still
feel,
so fucking full of yourself.
It
dude.
felt chaotic.
Yeah.
It didn't feel all like perfectly aligned, like the stars had aligned and everything. It didn't feel like a destiny planned situation in those times. It felt like pure just chaos.
Maybe that's because we were not mentally.
Maybe that was just
healthy.
me.
Yeah,
maybe she's having a great time.
Yeah, she's exploring the fucking crevices of the universe, the nooks and crannies, the English muffins of the Milky Way, dog.
And she just thinks it's beautiful. Like, And some people get terrified by seeing those same things, which is odd. So that may be your own head. People have bad trips. It's also environment, of course. But just to briefly mention, so one, we are gonna start doing some different videos on this.
This
right
will be
after
fun.
this, we're gonna step a little further into some of these things, some LSD
conspiracies. Maybe we talk about how the CIA formed the Grateful Dead. Maybe we do that.
Yeah. So just to touch on what we'll get into for us nowadays, because we've had some big trips, we've had some go in deep times, and recently we're more of microdosers. We take small amounts, and personally, I've just felt like it's such a good antidepressant, trauma.
You don't get out of your fucking head. We did that
like
when we were
therapy
kids. You don't
thing.
get so far out of your head that you then
You have to
question who
see
you
it.
are.
You got to get out to see it at least once.
Yeah, but then other than that, it becomes this nice, like if you get used to it, like we were talking about earlier, if you get used to it, you can use it like a tool.
Yeah.
And so if it's something to get you out of your head, that also, I think if you take a little bit of psychedelics, it's nowhere near as like rough as getting blackout drunk or
not as rough on the system, and I mean, it's wild on the mind the first few times, and it can break you if you don't need it.
Or if you're a pussy like Doug.
The only line, I know we'll get deeper into all this stuff, but my only line about the prankster mentality of like everyone needs to try this to open their mind. I think some people are fine. Like me and you, I think are a little bit psycho naturally, so this kind of thing balances us out in a weird way. When
you don't want to see us when we're not on acid.
A normal Meredith type person might not need that experience to be happy and normal, and therefore
some people are fine with it. Sheeple,
they might not, but opening, I don't think it like makes you better or really even opens your mind to something you couldn't realize naturally. Like you can. You
just have to be willing to explore your emotions. And
you could
get to know yourself, be okay with being in a room alone in the quiet.
Like some people would say, like meditation, things like that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, just like being quiet, knowing yourself, and having a solid mind and spirit, I think you can get to this place. But some people either need help or need it for therapy uses. So that there are different purposes for it.
Some people get all jumbled up, all mixed up, don't know what to do.
Does it not scare you into being nicer a little bit? The empathy aspect?
Well, yeah, because you're shown something so awe-inspiring and so much bigger than yourself that you are then shown that like you are the same.
People.
You are the same as all these other people. Watch your fucking mouth.
Like I'm hurting people when I say that, and like that. I think that kind of ties in. Yeah.
Watch your mouth. Watch your attitude. The main thing is like there's a reason that there's like a golden rule in like every religion, right?
So
and it's always the same one. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And that's a way of like treating the world as if it is one.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? So it's like all this stuff is really old because again, not again, we haven't said it in this video. We've said it before. All religions are based off of psychedelic experiences. They just are. There's no way there's not. So we're gonna do more things in this vein. Whether you like it or not, we're gonna do whatever we want to do.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see you around. Subscribe, like, comment, go join our Patreon. Check out realbird.company.site for our merch. We're also in a band. We'll put those videos up on here too. I don't know why I told you that. We do lots of stuff. We're gonna do stuff.
Searching for the other stuff that we do.
Cool stuff, fun stuff, neat stuff.
Get out there and expand your mind like Meredith.
Yeah, get out
Don't
there.
Don't be a bitch like Dr. Cohen.
Dr. Doug Cohen.
Dr. Doug. Sucks ass. Everybody hates him.
Everybody hates that dude. No one likes him.